There are places that defy logic, where reality feels thinner, and shadows linger longer than they should. One such place is Devil's Ridge, a secluded forest shrouded in mystery and fear. For decades, locals have whispered about its strange occurrences, disappearing hikers, inexplicable lights, and eerie whispers in the dark. Today, we explore one of its most chilling mysteries, the disappearance of Mark Evans, a seasoned hiker who ventured into Devil's Ridge in June 2019 and never returned. This isn't just a tale of getting lost in the woods. The clues left behind suggest something far more sinister, and the unanswered questions will chill you to the bone. Devil's Ridge isn't your ordinary forest. Nestled in the remote corners of the Appalachian Mountains, it's a place avoided by locals and feared by travelers. Stories of disappearances date back over a century, but few have been as chilling or as mysterious as the case of Mark Evans. Mark was a 25-year-old hiking enthusiast, known for his experience and careful preparation. On June 12, 2019, he embarked on a solo overnight trek into the ridge, leaving a detailed itinerary with his family. His plan was simple: explore a few unmarked trails and return the next morning. But when Mark failed to return, his family raised the alarm. Search teams arrived within hours, equipped with drones, tracking dogs, and local guides. The initial search seemed promising. They found footprints leading deep into the forest, but then the trail abruptly stopped. No sign of Mark, no belongings, just an unsettling silence that hung in the air. And this was only the beginning of the nightmare. The search party pushed deeper into Devil's Ridge, following the faint trail of footprints. But as the hours passed, the clues became stranger. Near a small clearing, they found Mark's water bottle placed neatly on a rock. Nearby, his hiking journal lay open, with an entry scrawled in shaky handwriting. "The shadows move when I don't look. They're watching me." The words sent chills down the spines of even the most seasoned rescuers. Further ahead, the forest grew eerily silent. No birds, no rustling leaves, just an oppressive, unnatural quiet. Then came the discovery that froze them in their tracks. Mark's backpack, leaning upright against a tree, as if someone or something had placed it there intentionally. Inside the bag, everything was intact: food, a flashlight, and even his map. But on the map, a new marking had appeared: a crude drawing of a cave, encircled in red, with the word "don't" written beside it. The marking hadn't been there when Mark left for his hike. Who had drawn it, and why? It was clear. This wasn't just a case of a lost hiker. Something far more unsettling was happening in Devil's Ridge. The discovery of the cave symbol on Mark's map led the search team to an unmarked trail, hidden beneath overgrown vines. The deeper they went, the stranger the forest became. Trees twisted unnaturally, and the air grew colder with every step. After hours of navigating the eerie silence, they stumbled upon something unexpected: a chest. It stood in the middle of a clearing, dark wood, polished yet aged, its carvings intricate and ominous. The latch gleamed as if untouched by time. But what truly sent shivers down their spines was the sensation of pressing weight, as though the chest itself was watching. One of the rescuers approached cautiously, flashlight in hand. As he bent down to inspect the carvings, the beam flickered, and a shadow passed just beyond the edge of the clearing. He turned quickly, scanning the darkness. Nothing. Yet, the uneasy feeling lingered. When he turned back to the chest, his colleagues froze in horror. His eyes, once clear and sharp, were now clouded and dark, as if some unseen force had claimed him. He whispered, "It's not here to harm. It's here to choose." Then he collapsed to his knees, trembling in silence. The air around the chest grew colder, almost unbearable. The kneeling rescuer, eyes clouded and trembling, began to mutter incoherently. His words were barely audible, but the others strained to make sense of them. "It's awake, it's been waiting, it's here for us." Before anyone could react, the chest creaked open, revealing nothing but darkness inside. Yet, the darkness felt alive, pulsating and growing as though reaching out to the forest. One of the team members, ignoring the growing panic, shone a flashlight inside. The beam disappeared as though swallowed by the void. Then, a sound, a deep, guttural noisy, emerged from the chest. It wasn't human, nor was it from any creature they could recognize. The sound vibrated through the clearing, making their very bones ache. Suddenly, the kneeling rescuer screamed. His voice was raw, filled with agony, as shadows began to crawl from the chest, spiraling around him like living tendrils. The others stumbled back, paralyzed with fear, as the shadows engulfed him completely. When they dissipated, he was gone. The chest slammed shut with a thunderous echo, leaving the remaining rescuers staring in stunned silence. None dared to approach again, but the feeling lingered. Whatever had been unleashed was far from over. The remaining rescuers stood frozen, staring at the spot where their colleague had vanished. The oppressive silence returned, broken only by the faint rustling of leaves in the distance. One of them, a seasoned tracker, whispered, "We need to leave now." But as they turned to retreat, the chest let out another groan, its lid trembling as though it might open again. The group hesitated, their instincts pulling them in opposite directions, curiosity or survival. Before anyone could make a decision, the chest stopped. The forest seemed to exhale, the tension momentarily lifting. They seized the chance and ran, stumbling through the undergrowth, desperate to escape. When they finally emerged from the forest hours later, they were greeted by an unsettling sight. Mark's journal, lying on the ground at the edge of the woods. None of them had carried it out. One of them cautiously picked it up. The last page, previously blank, now held a single sentence written in Mark's handwriting. "It's waiting for you." The group dispersed shortly after, vowing never to speak of what had happened. The chest remains deep in Devil's Ridge, untouched, its secrets locked away, or so we'd like to believe. Months passed after the events at Devil's Ridge. The rescuers who survived the night went their separate ways, each haunted by what they had witnessed. Some moved far from the area, unable to shake the oppressive feeling that the forest's shadows still watched them. But the story didn't end there. Hikers who ventured near Devil's Ridge reported hearing faint whispers carried by the wind. Some claimed to see the figure of a man standing at the forest edge, his eyes dark and hollow, staring but never moving. A few brave souls attempted to locate the chest, but none succeeded. Then, a photograph surfaced online, a blurry image of what appeared to be the chest, now sitting in a different clearing, surrounded by scorched ground. Beneath the photo, a cryptic caption read, "It chooses again." To this day, no one knows what the chest truly is, where it came from, or why it seems to call its victims. But one thing is clear: Devil's Ridge is no ordinary forest, and the chest, it's still waiting. Asterisk.